Well, hey, this is Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I've got the new Trek Top Fuel 8 aluminum framed SRAM GX electronic shifting bike, full suspension mountain bike in my hands. It's also on the back of my van because I've been riding this bike all weekend. I do own a little bicycle shop called Biloxi Bicycle Works, and we're going to be using these Top Fuel 8s as our rental bike. So of course I was the first one that wanted to take this thing out for the weekend, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, over the years I've done a lot of cross-country riding. I've kind of turned to some more trail style riding, and this bike really blends both fairly well. This is the 2024 edition, so to me this bike has gone more down country than cross country. Here outside of Biloxi, Mississippi, we have a local mountain bike trail called Bethel. Bethel is a fast, flowy trail system that really leads itself to more of a cross-country style ride than a full suspension, big hitting type of trail system. The Top Fuel 8 definitely is a little bit overbiked for Bethel. I led a group ride out there this weekend, and this bike did a great job of carrying the speed on that top cross-country trail, but also kept me fresh because I was going camping and hiking the rest of the weekend. Sometimes when I get off my cross-country bike, I don't really feel like doing a whole lot. It's great for ultimate speed, getting A to B, but I put this on the back of my van for a camping weekend, and I wanted to feel fresh. So a trail bike does that. Lets me have a good, spirited mountain bike ride, but still feel fresh for other activities during the weekend. Now, this bike really did impress me. This is the first weekend that I've really ridden the Top Fuel 8 and mixed it up with this new SRAM transmission, GX derailleur. I really like the crankset too. So the front chain ring is a 44, I believe, and 5211, I believe, is on the back. I might have that a little bit wrong, but whatever it was, this bike definitely climbed really well, but yet it was really fast on the cross-country sections of the trail. So I really like the shifting. As far as having this little pod up here that was really easy for me to use, I was able to shift this bike under load, under some loads that normally I wouldn't be shifting my bike at. And I do have a my cross-country bike, I've got a XTR rear derailleur set up that shifts good. This SRAM electronic shifting blew it away. I really like the way these XR4 team issue tires are 29 2.4 tire. I really like the way they handled the trail system. We have a lot of sand on our trail, but we also have clay. We have, we've got a variety of dirt, clay, sand, and these tires were very confident, but yet they rolled fast. Like I was leading a group ride, and group rides around here usually pick up speed and go pretty fast. I have to say, I've had some of my cross-country friends said that they were a red line trying to keep up with me on that bike. So this bike was a lot faster than I thought it was going to be, but yet still had that capability. We did a trail called Couch that's down on the Tuxachanie side. A lot of my cross-country friends have been skipping Couch because it's rooty down there. I purposely didn't want to skip Couch this week because I wanted to see how this bike handled the roots, and it flowed. This bike flowed over those roots with a 130 millimeter suspension pike, RockShox pike on the front. And of course, this is the RockShox Deluxe Ultimate. This rear shock really is very dialable. There's a lot of settings on this shock. Riding across like a down country bike on a cross country course, I set it up fairly stiff, but it still handled the roots of the Tuxachanie really well. I was very impressed with just how this bike felt. And tell you the truth, I don't have the seat tube angle, the head tube angle all memorized. I know it does have this minnow suspension or minnow link in it right here that you can change this to change it from low position to high position, and that really does change your head tube angle, your bottom bracket height. It's just a small subtle changes, but they make a big difference. So this bike with the 130 120 rear suspension, aluminum framed, 30 pounds, which seems heavy to me because I'm used to a cross-country situation, but 30 pounds for a trail bike is very respectable, especially for a trail bike with this much capability. I feel real confident keeping this bike on the back of my van and heading up to Birmingham area, North Mississippi, going up into Alabama, going up into Pisgah, going up into North Carolina. I mean, this bike really can handle it all, and if I wanted to jump in on a little cross-country race or something to mix it up, this bike would be very, would make me feel very confident doing that as well. And I don't want to coin this bike as a cross-country race rocket. I know some guys that have made this a cross-country bike, and it's really better suited for an all-around trail bike. I believe Trek has got this bike about $4,700, and it does come with a SRAM DB8. Front and rear disc brakes with 100mm rotors. So the bike stops absolutely phenomenal. I'm a smaller rider. I'm 5'9" at 150 pounds, and I'm riding a size medium bike, and this medium fit me perfectly. I thought about trying the medium large, but I went with a medium, and this bike felt really, really, really good to me in a size medium. Being a 150-pound rider, I'm a weight weenie, so when I'm riding a 30-pound bike, I feel like I'm going to be on a slug. And this bike did not ride like a slug. This bike rode really zippy, really fast, really agile. This bike was definitely gave me some confidence into some corners and some routes that I normally would slow down on my cross-country bike. This bike ripped through that stuff, and I didn't even think twice about it. I really like the Debonair air spring in the Pike front end. These Bontragers line comp 30s, that's a 30mm internal width rim with the 2.4 tires on it, was a great combination. And these are stock, so these are not aftermarket rims. So, Trek, it's a $4,700 bike, so it's not an inexpensive bike. But if you're a mountain biker and you're looking at this style of bike, you know that that's just a, that's about where they are for this style bike. But a lot of times you've got to do an upgrade on the wheels. This bike I did not have to. This bike is actually completely stock. I didn't change a thing, and I love the way it rode. So I think the only thing we did to this bike was add a bottle cage, and the bottle cage, really this bottle cage did a great job of letting me get my bottles in and out really easy from the side, because there's not a whole lot of room in this medium frame. But I'm able to shove my bottle in on this side and had no problems with that. They give you a nice frame guard, and I did hear a few stones hit the frame guard. I like an aluminum frame bike, 150mm dropper post. Like, this bike is really, really set up. I'm very impressed with the Trek Top Fuel 8 aluminum platinum alpha aluminum bike at 30 pounds. It rode very agile, and that's me coming from a lighter rider. Really, the weight's a little bit more important to me because I just have less muscle to throw this bike around, and this bike felt great. I can't wait to throw this bike on the back of my van and go out for another mountain bike ride. We are here at Biloxi Bicycle Works. We're going to be using these as our rental bikes, so I can't take this bike with me all the time. But if it's rented out for the weekend, but if it's not rented out, you pretty much can count on me throwing this on the back of my van and maybe hitting Bogachita or UWF, USA. I think Chickasaboga is closed down right now. Bring this up into Hattiesburg. If you're anywhere in the South, Biloxi Bicycle Works is my little bicycle shop. I'm actually in the back of the repair shop right now. Hit me up. I know a lot of cool places to ride, and I don't mind turning people on to some of our local trails. And I would love to turn people onto this bike. I rode another brand bike for several years, Specialized. I was a Specialized dealer. I'm now a Trek dealer. I love the way this bike rides. I've ridden a lot of stump jumpers, believe me. I sold a lot of stump jumpers. Great bike. But I think the Top Fuel, honestly, rides a lot better than the Specialized stump jumper. And I'm a guy that's, you know, still sold the Specialized stump jumper for many, many years. And I think it's an awesome, I've always thought it was an awesome bike. This bike blows it away. I haven't ridden the previous generations of the Top Fuel, but I've raced against a lot of Top Fuel. So Top Fuel used to be more of a cross-country race bike. Now I think it's turned more into a down country, all-around race bike. And with the 120, 130 suspension, you're not pulling around, you know, 160, 170. And sometimes those bikes with so much suspension down here in the South is not needed, and you know, you're carrying a lot more weight and a lot more suspension than you need to. So this is a perfect blend for a bike that's very, very capable of our trail systems down here in the South. I take this bike anywhere. I'm from Colorado, from Fort Collins, Colorado. And I'd love to take this bike up there and ride Lower East State Park again. I'd like to ride all around. I take this bike anywhere. So let me just say in closing, and I didn't go through every spec of this bike because there's a lot of good YouTube video guys that do that. And I'm more about the way a bike rides, a bike feels, and literally I'm just taking this bike off the back of my van from a very fun, exciting weekend of mountain biking, hiking, and camping, and riding the Top Fuel 8, you know, more of a down country bike like this really did help me save energy for other things I wanted to do this weekend other than ride a bike. So great bike. I love the way I was able to ride this bike and still feel very good afterwards. The seat was fantastic. Everything on this bike was good. Heck, if someone doesn't rent this bike this weekend, I'll be using it again. So anyway, more on the Top Fuel 8 coming up. But so far, my opinion of this bike after rocking it all weekend long is absolutely awesome. And for $4,700 as someone who sells a lot of bikes, this bike's really jam up for the price. So any questions on the Top Fuel 8, hit me up at Biloxi Bicycle Works. If you do have a local Trek dealer, definitely support your local bike shop. We need that right now. My little bike shop, here's a sticker on the back of my van. Biloxi Bicycle Works right there. If you don't have a Trek dealer, I would love to, you know, be your Trek dealer or point you in the right direction. And if you're just passing through the Gulf Coast and want to ride bikes, I'm not always trying to sell you something. Come ride bikes with me. I love to ride bikes with my friends and my customers. And I'll probably be on this Top Fuel 8 if someone else doesn't rent it for the weekend. So just know I really like the way I'd love to spend some more time with this suspension and really get it dialed in for me. But as someone who just set up the suspension in a neutral position, I didn't spend all weekend trying to dial in the suspension. I set it, I forgot it, I let it eat, and it ate everything up really, really well. From fast and flowy to real rooty, to some spiky little climbs, to some cool little downhill, to some little jumps. I mean, this bike really handled the cross-country trail very well. And this SRAM GX electronic shifting on it, AXS shifting, was absolutely flawless. The harder I shifted the bike, the better it performed. So really good ride on the Top Fuel 8 this week. Any questions, hit me up at Biloxi Bicycle Works Monday through Saturday. Hopefully I'm going to shut out a little bit early on Saturday and throw this thing on the back of my van and go out for another ride. Come join me. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. If you like what we do on the Bicycle Rider YouTube, please like and subscribe. That lets YouTube know you guys are watching me. And I'll be doing a whole lot more videos on this particular bike right here. Stay tuned for a lot more videos coming up.